Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome to the Heartspace Atelier podcast. I'm your host, Henry. Welcome. I hope you're all doing very well. Today, I wanted to talk about something that has been more apparent in my life recently as it's getting colder where I live, as winter is just fully unfolding. And I feel like winter is a time where things around you sort of slow down and get stripped away, and all that remains is your heart's truth. I feel like during winter time, a lot of the time there's already seasonal depression existing, but what makes it even heavier sometimes is realizing certain truths during winter time, because everything around you is kind of being stripped away, everything is slowing down, there's not a lot going on, and all that really remains the strongest and feels the most strongest than ever is your intuition, your gut feeling, and your heart, so sometimes when winter is coming around, we feel like, oh my goodness, all of a sudden I have a deeper gut feeling, a sense of knowing what my heart wants, and a sense of romanticizing and knowing what I want to do in the next blossoming season of my life, which is spring, or could also be winter, you never know. Because for me personally, winter is kind of like my blooming season. The most beautiful and soulful and divinely aligned things usually tend to happen during winter time. I've felt a lot of that happening recently as well, and I feel like a lot of that has to do is because I was born during winter time, and the first ever vacation I went on, as a tiny baby, like this, I went to a beautiful winter spot as well with my parents. Not a solo travel that time, but so I feel like what I'm feeling really called to talk about today is letting God in and reconnecting with your heart and with your intuition. And I feel like we forget a lot of the time because we were so manipulated into thinking that we have to do everything alone, and the society is telling us to push through. And what I find so fucking insane is the fact that there's literally nothing changing during winter season, work-wise. We still have to clock in. We still need to do what needs to get done, even though it is in our natural pattern, in our natural code of existence, that winter is a time to slow down. It is not a time to go crazy like we sometimes do during summertime. It is just not the time, So I feel like there's some unconditioning and unlearning that we need to do, Because for me, I am a very cozy person. Everybody knows that about me. I am the master. I'm the king of coziness, So I love a good cozy obsession and drinking tea and just being in tune with my heart. I love waking up in the morning, having a very slow morning and just sitting down, bundled up, drinking my tea or coffee, and just journaling and meditating and lighting candles and shit like this, I feel like this is truly what we need to romanticize and actually do during this winter season. By the way, this all applies also if you're in the southern hemisphere. It doesn't really matter if it's warm where you live or not, because the essence of this video is letting God do her job. We got some tea here, of course, because we're staying cozy. I want to talk about how important it is to realize that you can give your burdens to the divine. You can give your burdens to the higher power that is shining upon you, that is helping you and guiding you along every single step. And it's gonna show that even more if you welcome it. Winter is a time where you plant the seeds, where you get back in touch with the divine. And I feel like it's really not just Christmas season that is kind of bringing back this holy energy into your life. during winter time, it is also just realizing the inner warmth you have within yourself, the inner divine that lives within you comes to life, especially during winter time, because there really are much less distractions. Let this episode be a reminder for you that it is okay to surrender, and it is okay to not do as much as you set out in your silly little mind to do. It is completely fine that you don't know where you're heading. It is completely fine that you are living through a season of uncertainty, because you are also living through a season right now of getting back in touch with your inner divinity. This is what winter truly is about. It is not like you're not doing anything. It is that the work you're doing is more internal than external. And that is some of the most powerful shit. So I need you guys to praise yourself. It is not easy, and a lot of people ignore this process. A lot of people, will continue pushing themselves and not slow down, even though their heart and their mind and even their body is telling them to, Don't be so hard on yourself. Your body, your soul wants you to tune into your inner world, because it's asking you right now to plant those seeds, to plant those seeds for the next blossoming season. And during this time, I feel like it's even more important to lock into something, to lock into some kind of ritual that makes you connect with your inner divine side. So for me personally, I love journaling every morning, because it kind of just like puts me straight up into touch with my inner world, what I'm feeling, what my current energy is like. And then as I journal, as I just write all the sentences down that I want to write down, the inner divine just kind of comes through. And sometimes that journaling turns into a deep channeling session, and then I write and write and write, and then I'm finished, and I am left with a beautiful message in my journal where I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I felt all of that. I can't believe I wrote all of that, So you really have to be the witness of your inner divine, and you need to kind of lure it out. You need to do things in your day-to-day life to lure it out. And this is why we feel so much more cozy and lazy during wintertime, because our inner divine is wanting to be let out, because it has a lot to say. It has a lot to say, and you need to give it the space and listen to it so it can unfold beautifully and tell you what you really need to do. Because a lot of the times we don't need to do more, we don't need any more new routines, we just need to tune inside and fucking listen. You need to listen. And I know I'm coming from a very privileged point of view, because I know a lot of you guys are also overworking yourselves and you have really tough jobs. I really don't want to ignore that, and I don't want to sound like everything is well in the world and everybody has the time to relax during winter, because truth is, society builds this system of not slowing down during winter time. So I'm not going to pretend that everybody's just having a cozy, chill winter and can tune in and have a billion cozy, slow mornings every single day. That is just not reality. What I am here to remind you of, though, is that during the time where you have the space, where you have, a slow morning on the weekends or a cozy night in, when you have the time, you need to spend it wisely, and you cannot do more. You shouldn't do more. Instead, you should listen and tune in, because that is where the magic lies. I get the best ideas when I'm tuning in. I get the best ideas after I meditate, or even like during meditation, especially during meditation. I get the best ideas when I am doing the dishes and really like just flowing through this present moment of doing the dishes, or when I'm hanging up laundry, or when I'm cleaning my space, or like saging my space. Like there's so many things that are so mundane, but the divine just really still lingers around, especially during that time. You can offer anything back to God. You can offer anything back to the divine, to the universe. You can offer anything. The smallest thing, the biggest thing, it doesn't matter whether your washing machine is broken or your car needs to be fixed or you need to get yourself a new pair of headphones and you're looking for the cheapest and best option. There's nothing where you cannot consult the divine in. Nothing. I do this all the time, and that is why I feel like a lot of the times, even in the most mundane, boring moments, my life will feel magical because I am consulting my inner divine. I am consulting the higher power that I believe in. You can do this all the time, especially in moments where you feel impatient, especially in times where you're like, oh my goodness, why is this queue not moving? Or why am I stuck in traffic? This is especially where you invite the divine in. Honey, trust me, it does wonders. It does wonders. Not only do things seem to be moving faster once you do it, but you will be granted more patience. So if I'm stuck in traffic and I'm like, oh my goodness, like what the fuck? You know what I do? I say, listen, divine beloved, universe, I am right on time. Thank you for letting me be right on time. This is divine timing. Because what if I am stuck in traffic? Because otherwise, if I wasn't stuck in traffic, I would have had an accident. Or what if the day my alarm didn't go off was not because I was punished, but it was because I was being divinely protected, because what if I had gotten out right on time, maybe something bad would have happened as well, So I see everything as divine timing. There is no such thing as wrong timing for me in my world personally. And a lot of my loved ones really get annoyed at me for that sometimes, I think, because there's any sort of inconvenience, big or small, happening, and I'm like, oh my god, this divine timing, we were just saved, honey, we were just saved. And they're like, So I think this is one of the things I really like about myself, because I will bring the hope. I will thank divine timing. I will thank the divine, and I will try my hardest to shift the situation into something magical and divine, into realizing that the divine is present. And you need to do this too. You are right on time in your life. Doesn't matter, big or small moments, whether you're in traffic or whether you are at home not knowing what to do with your life, you are right on time. You cannot outrun divine timing. It's just not something you can do. It's not something you can do. It's not your nature. We live by this natural code of divine timing. We cannot outrun it. Of course, we can take action. We can take aligned divine action. This is the most important thing to do, by the way. We shouldn't be staying in and just letting our lives rot away just because we are waiting for answers to come from God or the universe, We are meant to be moving with divine aligned action. If you feel the nudge, if you feel the urge to go outside and go to a cafe you've never been to, or if you feel the urge to buy yourself flowers or get into drying flowers or ceramic making, or you want to design your own tarot deck, or you want to play music, you want to start learning how to play the guitar or the piano, it doesn't matter. Or you should paint this wall of yours in your house. It doesn't matter. You need to do it. You need to do it. Because you have this inner divine energy that is just giving you the nudges that you need. And especially during wintertime, if you don't know what to do, if you wake up with one nudge in your heart, no matter how small it is, you need to do it. Because what does it do? It creates a ripple effect, So let's say you wake up and you're like, okay, I feel like I want to buy myself some matcha powder so I can start making my matcha at home. And then I can start learning how to play the piano at home with my matcha. honey, you better do it. Why? Because it's from your heart and therefore it is straight from your soul. And your soul knows why it was reincarnated here onto this earth, into this life. So when your soul is telling you to get that matcha powder or to take a different route to work in the morning, you better do it. Who are you to question that? Who are you to question that? No, I'm being serious, like you need to do it. Or, funny thing is, guys, I do this all the time. I get dressed in the morning and then I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm being called to wear something dark blue or green or whatever color I feel called to wear. I wear it because it's also energy. It is also like, you know, the colors you wear, the clothes you wear, everything is kind of like energy. So if you feel drawn to some kind of thing, I need you to wear it, to embody it, you know? Because recently, for me personally, I've been feeling very drawn to different colors. Okay, so I'm leaning more into dark green recently and dark red, which has kind of always been in my energy. And also orange. I love that shit. And also, my current obsession, guys, this whole year is perfumes. Perfumes are really they're so like energetically embracing or attractive. And there's just something about it. Like, I feel like I was somebody in my past life that used to like make perfumes or something. I don't know. One day I will show you my collection because it's very important and it's one of the most divine things. I love perfumes so much, you know? So if you are feeling called to embody some of that, let's say you are at the store and you see this perfume, you want to try it out, honey, try it out. And if you feel called to, if you feel this inner heart's calling to get it, get it. No time to ask questions. Sometimes we have an intuitive download that our rational mind will want to question. Why are we thinking this? It's never the time to question it, but it's the time to do it, you know? I also want to circle back to this thing I just told you earlier, which is surrendering your issues, no matter how big or small, because it's not about wanting desperately to change the situation, but it's more of like saying to the universe, listen, I accept the situation, I surrender to it. If I'm meant to stay in this energy, make it easier for me to stay in this energy. If it's meant to be shifted, show me the steps I need to take. Because you will be reprogramming yourself into looking out for the steps that you need to take, you know? So let's say, for example, you just had to quit your job. It was really toxic and now you are temporarily jobless and you don't know what job you're gonna get, you want next, you know? What you can say is, universe, guide me to the right job. Show me which actions I need to take. You do that and then you work on staying comfortable during uncertainty. Uncertainty cannot kill you. It is not real danger. Okay? When somebody forgot to reply to you, or when somebody is ghosting you, or when there's uncertainty lingering, when there's something like a situation that's like, okay, I just had this job interview, but I really don't know if I'm getting the job or not, you know? Uncertainty cannot kill you, because even if it's rejection, it is just divine redirection. We go through this life dancing to our own tunes, thinking that we are always in control, but little do we know, there's an entire divine energy looking out for us and helping us step by step along the way. You do not need to do more to get the answers. You need to move more in alignment of your heart. that is the fastest way to get the answers. It's not by rushing and overworking yourself and constantly overthinking and questioning all the steps you're taking or you're not taking. The fastest way to get to where you want to be and to get the answers you're looking for is by surrendering it to the divine and to take aligned action based on how your heart is feeling. I want to tell you a little story that I think goes perfectly in alignment with this topic. So basically, a couple of months ago, me and my boyfriend went to Norway. And it was the most fulfilling and beautiful trip of my life. I loved it so much. And we were on a quest, and that quest was finding the Northern Lights. And so we even went on this trip at night with like 30 different strangers, and we were trying to find the aurora. We were trying to find the Northern Lights. So we drove to Finland like for 2 hours. And we saw a tiny peak of it, but it was just too cloudy and light polluted, so we didn't really see the whole embracement of it, you know? Before that trip, before that night trip to try and find the Northern Lights, I had a dream a couple of days before that, and I woke up with this dream. Like right after the dream, it was like in the morning, I woke up. It was like an early morning dream, whatever. I had a dream that I saw the Northern Lights through my window. And they were beautifully like green and very vibrant, and they were dancing, and I was like, oh, and then I woke up. And in that moment, in my heart, I knew that we would be seeing the Northern Lights. I just knew it, you know? And then the Northern Light hunting trip happened, and obviously we didn't really see them. And we were kind of disappointed, but I kept thinking to myself, and I told my boyfriend, like, listen, we are gonna see them. Like, I have an intuitive download. My heart told me that we are meant to be seeing them. So every single night, I would kind of like look out the window and just like check the vibe and see if something is happening up in the sky. The last night we were there, I look out, like so many times my boyfriend was like kind of feeling sorry for me because we didn't see the Northern Lights and I was so excited about it, but my hope did not die because in my heart I knew we were going to see the Northern Lights. And if we weren't, that's also fine, you know, because I surrendered that reality as well. I was like, if we're not meant to be seeing them, that is also fine, you know, but my heart just knew that we were going to see them. So that night, the last night we were there in Tromsø, before we went to sleep, I look out one last time. What do I see? What do I see? The most beautiful Northern Lights dancing on the night sky. And I'm going to try and insert a picture here. Maybe that works. But this was honestly like the most beautiful, profound experience because it reaffirmed to me that my heart was right. So whatever your heart is telling you, I promise you only magic can come out of it. If you work in corporate business and your wish is to be an artist or to be a musician, and your heart is giving you those little nudges, those steps you should take in order to fulfill that, you need to do it because only magic can come out of it. Only magic can come out of it. I feel like we have so many inner divine realizations that we ignore. But if we would just start listening more and letting the divine take the lead and surrendering in moments where it's needed, life immediately and automatically becomes so much more beautiful and magical and eternally creative. It's like you're doing this creative dance with the divine once you start letting it into your life more and realizing that you're not meant to hold all of this together by yourself. You are meant to co-create with the divine. You're meant to co-create with the universe. And I know a lot of people also don't really believe in religion or in a higher power, and they, think that they're the only ones kind of like in charge. But I need you guys to find a way to rethink this, because if you believe that you are the only one in charge, you kind of also need to believe in yourself more. And therefore, I think the best idea in that situation, if you don't want to believe in a higher power, that is fine. But what I need you guys to start realizing and believing in is your inner divinity. Because even if you don't believe in the universe or in God, you need to believe in your higher self, because that is there and you know it. And I feel like this is the biggest lie that has been told to us, that God is separated from everything that's walking on earth. No, I think we are all one. We are eternally one. We are not separated from the divine. We are not separated from the universe. We are the universe. We are God. And this is not some overly confident and like self-absorbed bullshit. Like, no, it is the truth. And I'm being humble about it. Okay? It is just nature. Doesn't mean that we are more powerful than some. No. No. This is our nature. It is your divine birthright to realize that. When will you realize and acknowledge that you have a light that is shining so bright within you that could change your entire life and align you with the most beautiful destinations and situations and paths you could ever ask for and walk on in life? You have an eternal soul, you have an eternal flame within you that knows what it wants, that knows what it desires, and that also knows how to get there. And it's time for you to start surrendering more, especially during heavy moments, to create the space for the divine, your inner divine, to come through and give you the nudges and the steps that you need to take in order to get back on track. Surrender. Let go and let God. Offer it to the divine. Offer it. Whether you believe in the separation between God and you or not, whether you see God as an external being that's still helping you, it's all wonderful. Like, I'm not judging anyone's beliefs, because the relationship between you and God is extremely personal and unique. So you shouldn't ever judge anyone for their beliefs, So whatever your case is, whatever your belief system is like, it still applies to all of you. Surrender and offer and let go and let God. The divine is just waiting for you to let it help you, to let it catch you when you feel like you're falling. It's just waiting for your approval. It's waiting to wrap you in the soft blanket of love and trust and knowing that everything is going to be okay, because it will be. Stop putting all the stress onto yourself. Because you are eternally not alone in this. You cannot be. Because you are the universe, and the universe is all within you and all around you, and everything is connected, everybody's connected. You cannot walk down this path alone. You can never truly be alone. So start asking the divine for guidance. Start offering, start surrendering, invite it into your life. Become besties again. Anyway, that's all I had to say, guys. I feel very cozy, and I'm gonna have the most cozy evening for sure. And I'm gonna drink lots of tea, and I'm gonna watch a Christmas movie now, and just surrender. Invite it in. I'd love to know how this made you feel. Feel free to comment on your experience of surrendering and offering any situations, any drama, any bullshit, anything to the divine. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. And I'd also love to know, since I touched upon this, Do you personally believe that God is something separate from us, or that we are kind of all intertwined and connected, and that there's no separation between God and you? I would love to know that. Anyway, I love you, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.